Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. Due to a scheduling oversight, I booked two guest co-hosts, Ed John and Jess Cordry. I also managed to book no other guests for this segment. We have fun, though, and that's all that matters. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence.
All right, it is Wednesday. It is noonish. Jess Cordry never got invited, but he's here anyway. It's time for the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with, through my own mistake, two guest co-hosts today, which it's never been more fun. We have Ed John sitting in.
What up?
And Jess Cordry is in because I forgot about Jess and I brought Ed on, and now we're just going to have a show packed full of hosts.
And I'm easily forgettable, so I understand that.
Yeah. Well, you guys, it confused me because you guys have the same haircut.
We look a lot alike, actually.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm underdressed.
Yeah, I don't want to be negative or anything.
You got it. Yin and yang going on.
Yeah,
Right here.
yeah, a little bit.
See that?
If you start getting in that little ball together, there's going to be a problem.
That's not happening.
Just because there's not that much room in here. So
There's not.
okay, we're off to a running start. We were better than this before we went live.
I screw it up and I have two co-hosts. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, I'll blame it on two co-hosts.
Followed immediately by a racist joke.
We're getting a phone call already. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
I wonder if it's the king of Wakanda.
It is the king of Wakanda calling.
Yeah, it could be. This is Life. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I was calling. I had a question for the co-host today.
Which one?
Jess.
Yes. Co-host
Hey.
Jess.
Well, screw you too.
I got something for you in my pants now. Here's what we got going on. I have a neighbor that I cannot stand. She's always bickering and complaining. Do you have any advice for me?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cheese in someone's tailpipe.
Cheese.
Yes, preferably a Gouda or
I think he's in the tailpipe now. If you heard that.
Yes. Where are you calling from?
You're talking about the tailpipe of the car, right?
Yeah. Well,
Otherwise, because that creates a heck of a blockage.
I'm door dashing. That's what I'm doing right now. So, have you ever had a neighbor like that you just couldn't stand?
Oh yeah, I have on a number of occasions. Most of the times, I just do things like let bugs out and underneath their house. Just nothing that'll get you convicted of a felony, and nothing that's real sticky. But I understand where you're coming from.
See, I have some. I can weigh in on this too because there for a long time I had a neighbor that I hated him, he hated me, and one of my favorite things to do was he parked his truck out where I could get to him. He couldn't see his truck from his house because he liked to park kind of in front of my house. So what I do, I work in HVAC, so I get some of these big old conduit straps for the flex duct. And I wrap that around his drive shaft. So you do about 5 of them, and as soon as he starts to drive his truck, it's just going to about 150 miles an hour. Yep.
That's hilarious.
What does this lady do to you to make you so annoyed?
She just complains about, I need to water my grass more because it's not bright green. She lives across the street from me. So, older lady, probably in her 70s or so.
Oh, it's even better to do that with those panduit straps, with those tie straps, because then she'll have a heart attack and you won't have to worry about her anymore.
Right. Okay, excellent idea.
Heart attack. We've crossed the line.
Hey, we get dark here sometimes. I'm just saying. How permanent do you want? How permanent a solution do you want?
Well, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to shut her up, I guess, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I am always cheese in the tailpipe. You can take it literally, you can take it figuratively. Either way,
or you can shove some cheese in the tailpipe. Yeah.
What about mothballs? Would those work?
What?
Mothballs.
In your tailpipe?
That'd
be kind of cool when they blow out of there.
That could be interesting.
Might think there's something wrong with the car.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have to worry about moths. That's a big plus, right?
Very true.
That's
Very
true.
true.
Yeah, no, that's all.
Do you really have to worry about moths eating your bumper a lot, though, or your tailpipe?
That's a white person problem.
Yeah, I've never.
Yeah, black people don't have a problem with moths. Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, not a lot of mothballs in your tailpipe.
Yeah,
what you're saying.
That's a white person
problem. I won't fall for the open end of my tailpipe.
All righty then.
I can identify a white person problem pretty readily.
Great job. Great job. Yeah, you called it.
Yeah. Well, I figured since she was old, the mothball, she probably wouldn't think much of it, is what I was getting at.
Yeah, that's true. That's
she's
true.
Kind of musty.
They use them in their closet and everywhere. So,
Is she hot?
She's 70, so probably.
Caring about what your neighbor thinks of you is also a white person problem. My neighbor doesn't like me. That's a white person problem.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Well, see, my neighbor didn't like me, but that's because I didn't like them.
Some people are just bitter in life, and that's just how it is.
Yes, and always think positive. Do whatever you put your mind to, and be confident. That's 90%.
The sky's the limit. Your attitude determines your altitude.
Man,
you're the
we're like a motivational poster in here today.
Wow. Well, if you guys need a third co-host, I'll come on down and help you out today.
All right. I think we're okay for now, but hey, I might hit you up for next week.
Absolutely.
Thanks for the call.
Did we ever identify who's on the phone?
No, we haven't. It's a mystery. I'm trying to keep it that way so I don't have to bring him in as co-host. I forgot you were still on the phone. I thought I hung up on you.
Hang up.
That's not right. That's not right. We appreciate you calling in.
Thank you for the call.
Thank you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
And that's what I get for posting the number on my Facebook page, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. So have you had a neighbor like that? Because my neighbor, when I first moved in, actually had their dog trained to poop in my yard. And then complained that I didn't cut my grass enough. It's like, it's your fertilizer that's causing the problem. If you teach your dog where to poop, I wouldn't have to worry about either problem.
No.
That's why you keep your dog chained to the tree. They got that diameter that they can only walk. That's it.
See, I have a dog, and I have both of my dogs. I had 2 dogs at the time, and they both pooped in my backyard, where a dog's supposed to. In my well, not all dogs, but my dog's supposed to go in my backyard. Well, he trained his dog to poop in my front yard and on my driveway. So I came home from work. I was working 12-hour shifts at the time.
He trained his dog to walk to your yard.
To do that, because I saw him out there shooing his dog over to my yard. This is before I moved, because I've known this guy for years. It used to be my grandmother's house. Known him for a long time. And he actually had his dog trained to poop over there.
So does he go pick it up out of your yard, or he just like,
oh, no.
shit over there?
He goes over that yard. He don't have to pick it up. It's not his yard. Well, I got it for him one day, because I came home after a 12-hour shift. I was in kind of a sour mood, and I stepped out of my Jeep right into a pile of his dog's mess. So I went and grabbed a shovel, and I went through my whole yard, and everywhere there was a piece from a dog, I put it on the end of that shovel and slapped it up on the side of his white vinyl siding. His house was speckled.
One way to do it.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't like me.
One way to do it.
But I came out about an hour later, and he's got a garden hose, and he's cussing and spraying off the side of his house. I said, what happened? Did your dog blow up?
Some big birds. Some big birds.
And you know what? The next time I saw his dog running over to my yard, I saw him running after it to grab it. Never happened again. So it took care of the problem in my own creative way.
That's wild.
I'm trying to think about I've only had one neighbor, because I've only lived in one house that actually had a house next to it. And he would always watch me try to fix something, and I'd fail miserably, cut myself, my hand, and he'd come over. Hey, let me show you how to do this. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. $45, please.
Oh,
wow. He charged you seriously?
Oh, yeah. He used to work on mansions in Oakwood. He was great.
Wow.
I mean, the stuff he did was stuff, but yeah, I'd hurt myself constantly.
Just to get him to come over and do it for you?
No, just because I'm incompetent.
Like, okay. Well, that works
People
too.
look at things like you saying your HVAC. You look at things and go, hey, I wonder how I fix that. I'm like, who do I have to call to fix that?
Yep. Who takes care of that crap? And my dad actually knew my neighbor for years because that used to be my mom's parents' house. Well, of course, when my dad was dating my mom in high school, my dad worked in a service station. So he'd come over there, and about every other time he'd come over there, this guy who lived there at the time would have the hood up on his car saying, "Come here and look at this," to my dad. And my dad finally, he'd just walk over the car going, "Uh-huh," and walk away. Like, you're not getting free repairs, you jerk. Bring it into the station like everybody else has to do.
How about any neighborhood issues with you, Ed?
Neighbor? Never had any neighbor problems.
Really?
Never, really? Yeah, black people don't have neighbors. That's why they call it the hood.
Oh, okay. So they're not neighbors.
Yeah.
It's not like howdy neighbor. It's
right. They
similar,
live over there. They live over there.
Yeah.
They live over there. Don't talk to those kids.
Yeah. Well, did you have certain kids or just all of them?
I had cousins who lived down the street, but neighbors.
Down the street, but not
No.
neighbors. Okay.
For real, black people, we don't have neighborhoods. We have hoods.
You
no
just
neighbors.
eliminated the neighbors.
Yeah, there are no
altogether.
neighbors. It's the hood.
Okay. Well, you learn something new every day.
That's why I'm on this show today, to teach.
I appreciate
to
that. I
teach the
really do,
masses.
because I'm like neon white. I'm so white.
We're
Ed,
gonna
so
get it done.
I really
Was
appreciate.
it like my neighborhood where anybody in the neighborhood could beat you if you were acting a fool?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, my
Yeah,
neighborhood was
that's-
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It takes a village to beat a child.
We had neighbors that would sit out on their lawn just to see if you screwed something up, so they could be it was like a race to see who'd get over there to whoop your butt first. And I was like, ah. My dad was quick too, so he usually beat all of them.
Yeah. Snitches. We had
And
a lot
then
of
he
snitches.
handed me over to the rest.
We had that's what my neighbors, the people in our hood, that's what they taught us, how to snitch. They would snitch quick. Like, you would do something like 2 o'clock, your mom knew by like 2:30, and she was at work.
Oh, that ain't right.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah. Snitches.
Get stitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was a lot of my neighbors too. But I think back then, neighbors actually talked to each other. They don't do that now because everybody's paranoid. I think everybody's paranoid about everything, so no neighbors even speak to each other. I've lived in my house for, I think, about 15 years. I've lived
That's
in my
because
house.
people
now.
aren't interesting.
That's true. I am, but nobody talks to me.
People aren't interesting at all, which is like, sometimes it's a good thing not to talk to people because, like, what are you going to learn from this person that you didn't learn from the other person? Like, people are clones. So,
That's it.
See, the way I do it, when I first move into a neighborhood, I typically slam back a 12-pack of Miller Lite, and I go door to door, and I introduce myself and just talk for them and let
which
them.
would be cool, but in our neighborhood, we think you were weird. Why is this white man on my porch?
Yeah, the witnesses are back.
Yep.
You don't go over in the suit and tie, do you?
No,
Because they
typically
will
on the
think
bicycle.
they will think you're involved with the church.
It's typically a tie-dye T-shirt and some cut-off shorts and a bandana.
You're an undercover cop. That's
And
what we're
Miller
gonna
Lite, yes. Yeah, they're thinking.
Undercover cop.
Well, I don't normally bring the Miller Lite with them. I just do that
okay.
just to see how they react to a guy reeking of booze and all that good stuff.
Booze, is that
Well,
really
Miller
what the...
Lite, I guess not booze.
Yeah, okay. I thought there was another more skunky smell.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not that I mind, but no.
Like, Don, I was going to walk to your house one day, but you had a bunch of shit in your yard.
No, we can't say that on the radio, right?
Oh.
Yard. My yard.
Yes,
We can't
yard.
talk about my yard on the... Don't you talk about my yard.
Completely forgot.
Yeah.
That's
That's
okay.
Beep that out.
That's all right. Yeah, we'll go back and fix that in post, Ed. Before I turn, you all right over there? Okay.
Good stuff to do, but you got to
We'll fix that in post on live radio. That's what. I actually had a guest in once that said that. Apparently didn't realize we were live broadcast, and she dropped the F-bomb probably 15 times in a 45-minute interview, which was supposed to be an hour and a half, and after 45 minutes, I just cut the feed. I said, all right, we're done for the day. Thanks a lot for coming in.
Because you had to edit so much?
Well, I had to hit we have the little delay button over here that I can drop the feed for 10 seconds. So I had to hit that so many times. It never even built up to the full 10 seconds. I had to hit it again. So, yeah, I was like, okay,
You know the
we're
delay
done.
button was actually invented because of Richard Pryor?
I can see that.
Yeah, Saturday Night
I didn't
Live.
know that.
Saturday Night
You know,
Live.
I
wanted him
always
to
thought it
host.
was Janet.
No, they wanted him to host the first episode, and they were like, "Okay, we know how this guy gets down on stage, so we need to have a preventative measure." Yeah, it was Richard Pryor.
Really?
Yeah,
I can see that. Yeah,
World would have been a lot better place if they'd have thought of that during the Super Bowl with Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My dad's got a picture of it hanging in his garage.
I don't see the problem.
I don't either. Well, it's pretty much covered. You know, it was like a pasty, but I don't know what exactly it was. It was some metal thing there, if you recall.
Not that I've Google imaged it 100 times, but it was a little. It looked like a sunburst.
Yes.
It was a sunburst. There was a lot of sunshine.
We were confirming.
Yep. Oh, it was a sun.
Look at God answering prayers on the Super Bowl. Look at God. Look at God.
Yep. What game?
I'm losing $25,000 on this game. But titties.
But that's okay, because look at there. That's
winning
right there. I've been wanting to see that for years.
And it ain't bad, folks. It ain't bad at all.
Janet,
When's she coming back?
I'm good with that. If it had been Tito, there'd have been a problem.
That'd have been a
Janet,
problem.
no, we're good.
Yeah.
Nobody's digging that.
No.
Oh. Anyway, it's been fun so far, Ed, but we're going to have to do the comedy rundown and take a little break as we got to breathe, and Jess has got to clean up whatever he coughed up on the floor over there.
I spill ashes, now lubes. I apologize.
Oh, that was lube.
Yeah, that was lubes. That was good
Oh,
lubes.
okay. Oh, I thought you said lube.
Oh, no, lung butter.
Like you've been stuffing cheese in your tailpipe again.
Well, no.
Yeah.
Exit only there.
Hey, you know, it's it's that kind of world. Okay, I'm just getting everything set up, and here's your weekly comedy. Okay, we're good. Here's your week's comedy rundown, brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in downtown Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Wednesday, April 11th, tonight, there's some comedy show at the South Park Tavern at 1301 Wayne Avenue in Dayton with Dan Frigolette and Mia Hammond. They're raising money for the Liberty Humane Society. And Wednesday through Saturday, April 11th through the 14th, the World Series of Comedy competition is at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. Come out and cheer on your favorite local comic, hoping for a chance to go to Vegas. Thursday, April 12th, Mark Paul Gregory is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. Also on Thursday, April 12th, open mic at the Hookah Bazaar at 958 Patterson Road in Dayton. That show starts at 10 p.m. Sign-ups for that if you want some stage time are going to be at 9:30. Friday, April 13th, a free stand-up comedy night at the Spirited Goat Cafe at 118 Dayton Street in Yellow Springs, hosted by Luke Capasso. That show starts at 8 p.m. Friday through Sunday, April 13th through the 15th, Mike Armstrong is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone. And Sunday, April 15th, Wiley's Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club. That show starts at 8 p.m. The John Morris is going to be headlining that show. The one and only John Morris is going to be headlining that show. That is it. As always, don't forget to check out wileyscomedy.com, DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. And always show some love on Monday nights to the open mics at Hannah's on 121 North Ludlow Street in Dayton, and also to Ollie's at 518 Miamisburg Centerville Road. That's all we have this week, which was a mouthful, I'll tell you that much. And we're going to play a little Potter's Field, and we will be back here shortly because Ed loves his heavy metal. So we're going to play a little Potter's Field for him.
And more.
Way down my head.
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
All right, we are back. I was going to play something else, but then it caught me off guard because that commercial ended sooner than I had hoped.
Abruptly, would you say?
Abruptly, yes. We're back on the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith, sitting in with my double co-hosts today. Double guest co-host, double secret, top secret guest co-host. And the secret is out. Ed John is sitting in with Jess Cordry as well.
Yes.
Who's leaning back like he's way too cool to be here and in his tie.
Yes, well, I'm currently working for DCS Technologies.
Oh, you are giving a shout out. Wow.
Yes. For all your answers to printing and copying needs, come to DCS and ask for Jess.
All right. There you go.
I went there, folks.
Yep. Well, I'm going to make you pay for that advertising space as soon as we're off the air again. But we continue to talk about Nabels.
Nabels.
We
Jim
can
Nabels.
talk about Navels.
Go Nabel, beat Army.
Oh, you can be.
I
But
am,
no,
baby.
we continued to talk about neighbors, and I was telling you guys about the weed war, which to me that was the greatest thing because that thing it got about 3 feet tall before he finally come out and hacked it down because it was right on the property line. It's not as fun the second time, is it? See, you guys heard this story. Oh, my stories are old.
New bit.
I got to get new material. Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, the way you set it up the first time about how he mowed around the weed,
Yeah.
and then you mowed around the weed, and it was about a battle of constitution, fortitude.
We can drop it. It's done.
Okay.
It's dead. Yeah, it's dead. No saving it. No saving it.
We're done. We went down that path. We should see. We got to save the funny stuff for when we're not on the break, and that's the problem. Is we just aren't as funny when
No
we're
talking.
On the air.
But we learned something about you, though.
I have another
think that's
call
cool.
coming in.
Take the call.
Yeah. I hope it's the king. Let's see who we got this time. This is the life. You're on the air. You can stop poking buttons.
Seth.
Yes.
Hey, it's Leo over in the Student Union.
Hey, how's it going, Leo?
I'm pretty good. Hey, I'm getting ready to do a Fupload, and on my Fupload is your Veterans Voices.
Oh! We can't say those words. Easy.
I'm taking money from you, Seth. But anyway, the Veterans Voices project a couple weeks ago, Pam flagged it. It's billed to your general account. She says that she thought it should be your foundation, but wanted me to check with you.
Are you talking to me about who is this?
Lee in the Student Union.
I think you might have.
I think you might have the wrong number. I appreciate any support for veterans. I am pro-veteran, as you know.
How is your number tied to Seth in the vets? Did I call the wrong number?
Oh, you know what? Oh, Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, Lee. Yeah, I know who you are. Hey, are you the guy with the Persian shirt?
The Persian shirt.
Yes. Have you ever been in a cockpit before?
Do you actually know who this is, or you just? Oh, okay.
I was calling Seth Gordon.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you.
Do you like movies about gladiators?
Seth Gordon sounds like a superhero. Seth Gordon sounds like a
We're
superhero.
actually on the air. This is
Okay,
a strange radio show that you
called a
happen
room
to
full
call
of
it.
comics.
Have you ever seen a grown man naked?
So, yep. All right.
Seth Gordon,
Hey,
come
Sorry
on,
about
guys.
that. I
Next
don't
week
even know how I
on.
called that number.
Okay. Well, hey, call back anytime. We always enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought it was somebody you knew at first, but
No,
it wasn't.
They wouldn't drop f-bombs.
Should have kept
Well, he
going.
said "fup."
Oh,
Yeah,
did he say
fuck.
fup?
Yes.
Fupload.
Yeah.
Fupload.
I thought he was cursing.
Oh,
No, said Fupload.
You know, I
well,
work,
no, I would have stopped him.
I work blue, so I'm like, whoa, watch your mouth.
You should have improv.
See,
the hell
you
out of
automatically went there. See,
I
that's.
go-
I tell you.
You just say yes, and.
yes,
you just
and
go.
yeah, there you go. It was improv.
Yeah, you should have just.
That's
yes,
I thought it
and
was one of my friends when I heard what I thought was
Right.
Fupload. I'm like, oh, this has got to be one of my friends. You know, dropping that. I'm like, oh, no,
Hey,
watch
we're
your
on the radio,
language.
dude.
We're on the radio. Oh. Yeah. Then when I realized if somebody just dialed the wrong number, then I want to have fun with you because when that happens at my house,
Oh yeah.
I immediately go to the airplane movie.
How unlucky do you have to be to dial the wrong number and it be this show.
Yes. First of all, how do you not know? You just dialed into the life with Don Smith. Like, how do you not know?
Well, I answer the phone. This is the life. You're on the air.
That's like accidentally calling the Breakfast Club and getting Charlamagne the God.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm looking for Hank.
the guy he was calling must have been a prankster, and that's why he didn't realize when he said, "This is the life. You're on the air."
This is
He just
Charlamagne.
kept-
This is Charlamagne. What's going on? Me and Denzel Washington. What's going on? What's your question? Good morning.
Oh, that's fantastic. We need more wrong numbers, folks. Call.
Please.
Now, we did have
You just
somebody
got the
call
White House.
in. Yeah, we did have a rapper call in
I was
one
here
day.
for that.
Were you here for
Yeah.
that? We had a rapper call in one day. I can't remember his name, but he was asking if he could come in for an interview. I was like, well, you're live on the air. What do you want to talk about?
He gave us his Twitter handle.
Oh, yeah, he went with it. He was cool.
Yeah, I remember that. I was pretty impressed by that guy.
Completely impromptu interview.
It was me, Scotty Mays, and the one guy who's the big fanboy of Nicolas Cage.
Oh, okay, Kyle.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle Steele. Yeah. Fanboy.
That was hilarious.
I don't know how to play. I can't remember
Yep,
that. Sorry,
Kyle Steele, the fanboy.
I know we're friends on Facebook. Forgot your name. I'm horrible
Yeah, I
with
think
names.
that's the name of his podcast.
Sorry,
is
Ron.
Fanboy.
Check out my Fupload.
Yep.
Check me out on my Fupload.
Upload a fanboy. That is the name of this episode. Right there. Let me get my pen out. I gotta write that down. Upload a fanboys. I hope everybody out there
So
in
I'm
Radio
fumbling
Land.
somebody.
I hope everybody out there in Radio Land, including the FCC, know this is FUP, Fupload. Because I just want to make it absolutely
That
clear.
sounds like when you upload a porn.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
a Fupload is.
So how often do you do that?
It's got to be.
Okay.
That's like the ultimate
Yeah.
like hashtag.
Yeah.
Fupload.
Oh, we are in so much
Upload
trouble.
come to
'cause that's good.
iTunes.
Why is that not a website domain already?
Right.
Yep, there's
Upload. You heard it here first.
There's the name of this episode. Fupload of Fanboys. Oh,
Does
man.
anyone know the definition of this word? I am so
we just made
intrigued.
it up.
Yep.
We own
Google.
it.
Google
Yeah.
Fup.
We got it now. We know. That's our
Google
shit.
that stuff, man. Phew, I don't even know if I want to go to news stories now. We're having so much fun with this. Whoever that was.
Fupload goes public. Offers up an initial offering.
Yeah, we better.
Fupload is now publicly owned.
Yeah, we better be careful. It's going to slip out accidentally here in a minute.
Facebook just bought Fupload
Pornhub.
$45.
Per share? Was that for the whole thing?
No, that's it.
That was it?
I'm the owner, CEO, and founder of Fupload.
You need a sales
All
rep.
50 shares.
Well, yeah, you got free advertising, so here we are.
Fupload.com.
Upload.
Contact
Get it
Jeff.
today.
And we're done.
Hello, you be Fupload. How about
Yep, download a Fupload. That's hashtag download a Fupload.
And John, we got a customer on the phone.
What's he
How
looking
many
for?
shares we got?
We got a.
Can I get me some of that there Fupload? I'd like a couple bottles of it. Bet it goes good with French fried potatoes and Fupload.
How many bottles of Fupload?
I'll
I'm
take
gonna
a
have
big one.
about 35 people at this party. Y'all cater?
Man, I'm about going to have to take a break. Whew. Laughing so hard, I'm sweating, man. So are you.
So am I.
Right.
I'm sweating like a pregnant nun. I'm just doing some Fupload.
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, we've gone off the rails.
Happens every time.
Oh. I didn't even know black people use Fupload.
Man.
Beautiful.
How do we top that with news stories?
I
don't think we can. Yep, the live radio show. A Fupload of fun.
He said a Fupload. For the whole family.
Phew. All right. Do we want to hit some news stories, or do we have anything left?
Hit
we run out of
story
gas already. Please, let's move on to something else.
Beep, 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 beep.
I need a drink. All right.
I'm done.
Ed is done. We've worn him out.
I don't even smoke.
All right. Well, we'll hit some news stories then. How about that?
News stories.
Life is rolling a little easier for Caramel the squirrel these days, despite getting his front limbs caught in a trap. What's that?
That's some racist shit.
Yes. He's a brown squirrel, I'm guessing.
The caramel squirrel. What? What?
Not a caramel squirrel. Caramel the squirrel. His name is Caramel with a K.
Okay. Okay.
Anyway, Caramel's paws were surgically removed after the tragedy where he was caught in a trap, which happened near Batman, Turkey. That's why I put that in there, Batman, Turkey, which is a place I'd like to visit. I'm Batman, Turkey. Anyway, according to the Turkish newspaper Daily Sabah, although squirrels without their limbs have a slim chance of survival in the wild, Caramel is getting a hand from a group of animal-loving scientists at Istanbul University.
Getting a hand.
A couple of them.
Getting a hand.
Yep. Actually, not really. Orthopedists at the university built Caramel a set of prosthetic wheels to replace his missing front paws. Caramel is believed to be the first squirrel to be given prosthetics. No kidding. So kind of like the dogs that get paralyzed and they put the little wheels on the back of them. This is a squirrel that has them on the front.
All goes well until you get a blowout on the highway.
The squirrel tries to cross the street.
Yep, every time he tries to leap to another tree, he just rolls on down.
That seems like torture, putting wheels on a squirrel. What madman would think of that? I mean, that's just insane. I'm going to put wheels on a squirrel.
That's a squirrel that's not getting hit, I bet you. That's a squirrel that's not getting hit.
Does it have brakes, or does it just roll?
Yeah, it's got a handbrake.
It's green.
Hey. Hold on. We got to drop that out real quick, Ed.
It's green. Go.
It's green. Ruppo.
Go. That thing needs a horn, mirrors.
All those wheels.
Oh.
I mean, think about all this. You can just mess up a lot of animals if you just start throwing wheels on random stuff.
Or you can improve a lot of animals.
Yeah, I want wheels on a badger. That's
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing good can come of this. What? Now they're going to put tank tracks on an elephant? There's just bad news. Science is getting a little out of control.
Yeah, whatever it is, humans will fix it.
They need an auto shop for squirrels.
What if they start putting auto sound, auto tune on animals a lot? I mean, it's craziness, but I like it. It's chaos.
I just keep picturing him trying to jump to another tree.
Well, he doesn't live in trees anymore, though. He's a highway animal now. He doesn't live in
He's
trees.
a road
He's out that
squirrel.
life. Yeah. He's done with that.
But he's a road squirrel nowadays.
No more trees. Evolutions. Hell of a drug.
Yeah.
You are the sixth sense.
Someday we'll all be born with wheels. All because of this squirrel.
Squirrel.
Instead of the $6 billion man, you got the 6-cent squirrel.
The $1.35 squirrel.
They build him better than before.
Yeah, just slightly.
And then you know there's going to be a squirrel with rims.
Yeah. Well,
Here they go with spinners.
every time. Yeah, low profiles. Yep, I want one with hydraulics.
Is that squirrel smoking a cigarette?
Yeah. See, well, my question is, they usually they'll eat with their hands. They'll kind of grab their nuts.
Yeah.
Yep. How's he going to do that with wheels? And just keep rolling off?
Maybe he can detach and one's a spatula. Like, little, he has like an accessory pack.
He's a squirrel.
He's going to end up eating other squirrels.
Yeah, if he's a squirrel,
He
he's
doesn't
not a
need hands.
super villain.
Well,
He's going to eat other squirrels. He just rolls up to them parks and eats them.
Yep, he'll be the squirrel godfather. He'll have all these different attachments where his paws used to be.
Yeah, he'll make the nuts and off with the camera fuse.
Never go against the family.
Never go against the family, Mike. Never go against your family. Sonny's a hothead.
Fredo,
It pains me.
I never wanted this for you.
Fredo's the squirrel that's over there banging his head into that other tree.
I always expected it to be
Michael, you
Santini.
never get for your kids, Michael.
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
Okay, we've got the squirrel father.
Did you know Squirrel
The
Father?
squirrel father.
Not even right.
Yep. Someday I will ask you for a favor, and that day may never come. Never have you invited me to your tree for some nuts.
But this day, on my daughter's wedding,
We've broken Ed.
Get rid of the camera.
We've broken Ed. Man, we're having fun today. Moving on. Want to keep that passion in the relationship?
not particularly.
Try it. Me either. Next story.
Not as long as we got side chicks.
I'm wearing a ring. I think that's about as passionate as I need.
It's done.
As long as there are women in Piqua.
Barely. I have a campsite in Piqua. It's real hard to find them up there. Every now and then you'll see one coming down the river in a canoe, and that's where the fun starts when you're camping in Piqua. I'm serious. I have my brothers and I own about 10 acres right along the Miami River and just north of Piqua.
Not bragging or anything.
Huh? No, it's a humble brag.
I ain't got my 40 acres or my mule yet.
Nope, it's only 10 acres, Ed. Gee.
And it is Piqua.
and it's Piqua. Plenty of mules, but a lot of them are coming down in canoes. No, we were out there fishing one day, and we heard a bunch of ruckus, somebody coming down in a canoe. And so we kind of hid back behind to see what was going on. It was this guy coming down the river as drunk as can be. Like this canoe, if he'd have moved the wrong way, they'd have both been swimming. And this girl that was like two of him coming down in this canoe, both just totally trashed. And and of course, the next thing I know, this girl's just ripping her shirt off while this guy gets out of the canoe to go, relieve himself. And he comes back and he just looks at her and says, I ain't into all that. It was so hard to keep from laughing.
That's actually a crime in some parts of the country.
It should have been
BUI,
there.
yeah. Voting under the influence.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was. But I don't think it was Piqua. I don't think they cared.
Piqua.
Anyway.
I think you can boat and drive in Piqua. Or boat and float. Boat and float, I guess. It's not boat and drive.
Boat and drive.
Yeah. Boat and
I
float.
ain't been drinking. I always drive my boat here.
Yeah, that's a good point. I really got myself in a box there. Nowhere to go.
Or in
huh?
a boat.
Yeah, a boat, yeah.
Anyway, we'll move along. Want to keep the passion in the relationship? Try adding a robotic sex doll. That's the recommendation of Spanish inventor Sergey Santos, who created a sex doll equipped with the latest advancements in artificial intelligence. Samantha is designed to respond to gentle seduction. As a result, the 39-year-old electrical engineer said the bot allows him to get sexual release when his partner of 16 years, Maritza Kisimataki, isn't in the mood. And her name's Kisimataki. You would think.
Well, let's talk about these sex robots because I think they're a good idea. I think they're a good idea.
Until there's a short circuit.
I mean, it's not like women don't have those already. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
but it's a lot easier to get electrocuted when your junk is in a robot.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I think they're a good idea. I never use one, but I do think. I mean,
it's
about options.
No,
Yep.
I do have a question.
Options.
Does it say sensual way with the robot?
That's responds to gentle seduction.
Gentle seduction. How does it respond to a fish hook and a Chuck Taylor tennis shoe right in the butt as you're giving it the business?
And why do you have to seduce
yeah,
it? Why do you have to seduce
Right.
it?
Well, you shouldn't. It's a
command.
robot. You shouldn't have to work that hard.
Don't use whips and all kinds of neat stuff. I mean, get crazy.
Woman, I'm home.
Exactly. Drag around by its hair.
At 3:45 every day, you should be next to the door.
With the robot, just in case.
Exactly. Well, you'll know without a good day or bad day by who gets hit first.
I don't sign on to that joke.
Yep. That joke was brought to you by Jess Cordry. Where's that you work again?
If you hit the robot and she's like, your force increased 3.5% from yesterday.
Oh. Like it has a little thing like on Rocky IV when he's rocking the Russian. He's getting more. I must break you.
Somebody's mad today.
See, but I actually read this whole article, and nowhere in there was a quote from his wife.
Of course not.
Yeah.
But women,
we
women
had
have
this,
to deal
we
with
had
machines.
this discussion before on this radio show. Well, not the three of us, but I've brought this up before. This is actually a new article about a guy that's actually done this stuff before. And we were kind of discussing before how he would have to have, since he's an engineer and he builds these things, there would have to be spare parts just laying around his workshop.
That makes
So
sense.
wouldn't there be like a spare, just a torso? Would he really need to build the whole thing?
You do need to build the whole thing because it gives your wife more to be jealous about.
That's true. That's
An
true.
entire body she
What
has
if
to compete
what
with
if your
now.
wife's an amputee?
Kneecaps.
Would it be insulting?
Kneecaps.
Would it be insulting to her if he built one
No,
with
because
two
guys,
legs?
I mean, think about it. Men have had to deal with machines for like years now. Vibrators, nothing but a machine.
I've
When you
never
break it all
dealt
the way
with
down,
one.
when you break it all the way down, we've been competing with the vibrator for years now.
Oh,
and
yeah,
now
yeah,
women
yeah.
have a machine they have to contend with. Go get it. Karma.
Well, I'd like to say I got something that competes, that outkicks a vibrator, but that would be a lie.
Nobody's
lawnmower?
nobody's out competing a vibrator. Nobody.
That's true.
Nobody.
Because we can't get that fast to action.
Right. So now you got like a whole physical body that they have to contend with now.
Yeah.
That can speak back and talk back.
That's not the good
Why would
thing.
Why would
that's just bad.
I'm just saying.
yeah. But it still seems like a lot of work, if they respond to,
Now, is this battery or something you got to charge? Or is it just have a cord attached to it? I'm assuming it's wireless.
Oh, well, the guy's name is Sergey Santos. Yeah. Lives in Catalonia, Spain, and they sell for around $2,834 to $7,000 a piece, which is really a small price to pay.
Yeah, 7,000 ain't that bad.
Well, yeah, considering what you're getting.
Yeah, 7,000 is not that bad.
A Mac computer costs not too far from that.
Because now the laws have to change too, because like the government can't be like, hey, your robot wife can't show up at work. Imagine the possibilities of these things.
So you're saying you want the robot wife showing
Hell
up at
yeah,
work?
I want my sex doll coming to work. Like, hey, babe, I got you a sandwich. Hell yeah. Why not? Why
Winning.
not?
Yeah. I get that.
I do.
That would. Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of. I haven't really put that much thought into it.
Well, it's a whole
other than-
world, like infinite possibilities now when you get these robot women. It's like, it's an infinite world now. Like, I want her to be in the passenger seat of my car when I'm driving. You know what I mean? And you can just hang out with her everywhere you go.
Well, that'd be fine if you could turn.
Because it's property. It's property. It's property. It's the same thing white people say when they had slaves. It's the same thing white people say when they had slaves. Oh, this is
So
my
what
property.
you're saying is robot is the new black.
Hey, low key, sex slaves are the new slaves.
Wow. We got real deep.
It's a brand new world.
It is.
I was-
It
All for
is.
sex dolls.
I was finally thinking there was something in this world that could hook me up. I was eating Chick-fil-A. But now I'm thinking, wow, a robot, does it have rights?
No, it doesn't. No.
Okay, then we win.
I mean, yeah, you can't get arrested for beating your robot.
I mean, artificial intelligence is intelligence.
But it's artificial.
Oh.
I mean, that's just a label.
That's true.
Just
that's
the
true.
label.
Well, that's kind of saying.
Who
like,
are we to define what's
that,
artificial and what's
That's
not?
kind of saying that breast implants aren't real breasts.
Yeah.
So where do we draw the line?
You don't. You don't.
You don't. You just get your sex robot and you have
There
your
you go.
own
And
line.
check the weather because they can't do rain. Just check the weather.
Right.
There's an 80% chance today.
Yeah.
Stay your ass in the house.
Yeah. And your dog with a shock collar.
Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, you want a dog with a shock collar and
I'm done. And let me know
a
every time
sex
there's a new
robot with a
Fupload.
remote control.
I need Fupload updates for you.
That's what you would call having sex with a sex robot is a Fupload.
Fupload. See? It's coming to life. We just got to keep talking.
Exactly. Do you hear that, Sergey Santos? I know you're listening. You need to jump on that now and buy Fupload.com.
Fupload. Hashtag Fupload.
Get on GoDaddy.
That's what I was trying to think
That's
of.
what you tell your robot. Get on.
Let's get on GoDaddy.
Get on your daddy. That's the most ignorant shit I've heard all day. Get on your daddy.
Millionaires tu papa.
Yep, because he's Spanish. There you go.
Good one, Don.
Thank you.
Hola. Ándale. Rápido.
Wow. I can't even read the rest of
What
this
are we
stuff.
on, number 4?
We're at number 3. We've
Number
only
3.
gone through 2 news stories. It's a slow news day.
I'm a slow guy.
A woman applying for a job at a New Hampshire county jail has been arrested because it turns out she was wanted on a charge in Maine. Police say Christina Hoofs of Manchester applied for a job on Friday at the Hillsborough County Department of Corrections, but workers soon realized she was being sought on a theft-related offense in Maine. She was taken into custody and taken to police headquarters scheduled for arraignment on Monday. It's unknown if she has a lawyer. No phone number can be found for her. They were trying to hook her up, I guess.
So she had a record and went and applied for a job
applied
out of
to work
jail.
at a jail. Some of them make it easy, don't they? No. Yep. Do you need to do a background check?
Nah,
Here
you good. Don't do it. Nah, you good.
It just walk this way. There's one more part of this interview we're going to go through.
It's called handcuffs.
How long have you been swimming at the shallow end of the gene pool, honey?
What did you mean?
What do you think? Like they just forgot about it? Like it didn't happen? That was in 85. They don't know.
Yeah. They didn't say how long ago it was.
And it was
that
in
she
Maine?
It was in Maine. So I guess she figured she could get to New Hampshire. It's like crossing the border. She'd be
I
fine.
dyed my hair. We're
Yep, is there
good.
extradition from New Hampshire? I don't think so. All right, I'm there. They'll never bring me back to Maine on this card.
My disguise is clever enough. They'll never know it was me.
But I'll need a job.
What's your eye color?
Need a place to work.
Brown.
I need something with state benefits.
Yeah.
That's what I gotta
you gotta
get.
do?
Some bennies.
The
Permanent
jail.
housing.
We'll go to the jailhouse.
Free
See if they're
rent.
hiring.
Retirement.
Yeah, I call that a win. One way or another, she's getting her meals and getting her retirement covered.
That is correct.
Well, I'm sure that I don't want to alarm you, but Holly Shock just flashed me her Pokemon.
I'm not turning around.
Do it, Ed. Do
I'm
it.
not turning around. Hi, Holly.
See, turn around again, Jess. I just saw
Twice. Yeah, I did twice.
I just saw something on your head back.
Oh no, I tore myself up shaving.
Oh,
this
okay. I
morning.
thought you were a Japanese
No,
national.
I was going for like the Ving Rhymes Marcellus Wallace thing
Yeah.
with the Band-Aid in the back.
You
of
do
the
know
neck.
who Marcellus Wallace is,
Yes,
don't you?
yes.
Is he black? Does he look like? And we'll leave it at that. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, I know
Your
Marcellus
business
Wallace is.
associate, Marcellus Wallace.
Yes, you did, Brett. You tried to fugate him. Or a
Say what again? Say what again?
So sorry, I nicked the back of my head shaving. So it was pretty
Okay. Well, yeah.
bloody.
Look, I didn't notice it at first till
In
you
the
turned
fifth,
around. It's like,
your
wow,
ass
that's...
goes down.
I got it.
See, you're going to feel a little sting, but that's your pride, Brett.
Pride messing with you.
That's your pride. In the
All
fifth, your
Been a
ass
long
goes
time
down.
since I've seen that. So.
Boxing ain't have no old timers, big butch.
All right. On that note, I think it's time to go ahead and take our top of the hour break, since the FCC pays attention to that. Hopefully they weren't listening to the rest of the show. They just tune in at the top of the hour. That's really the reason they want us to get off the air here at the radio station at the top of the hour. It's because that's the only time the FCC listens, I hope. All right. Well, let me cue up some. What kind of music you want, Ed?
A Pokemon, huh?
I told you, Holly,
What do we
showing
want?
you a Pokemon.
What do we want?
The little, you say
Pottersfield.
You say more Pottersfield?
I did not say more Pottersfield. No, I didn't.
I don't know what else I have, so I'm sure there's some stuff in there.
Anything from J. Cole. J. Cole.
Okay.
Yes, Pottersfield.
All right, here comes some Pottersfield.
We got rights.
Yeah, I just don't have those songs.
Oh, man, this is hilarious.
Oh.
This is
I can
funny.
play the Blazing Saddles theme song. I wish I had that.
I mean, you know what it is, right?
Oh yeah, that's the Italian wedding song. Grazie.
Thank you, Godfather, for inviting me on the day of your daughter's wedding. And I hope the first child be a masculine child.
Yeah, let him, man. Let his dumb ass in.
All right, we're going to play. Thanks for listening to the Life Podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Wednesdays from noon to 2 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can always stream the show live at wwsu1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email us at thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
Hey, I'm getting ready to do a Fupload